It's all of the above. All right, it's been a little while, but I'm sort of back, or I'm trying to be back. We're trying to simplify the whole setup and make this easier. But today, we're in a new garage. We've got the interlocking products. I've had these for quite some time, and I've been wanting to throw them down, except when we moved in, we threw a bunch of stuff in the garage, which is actually kind of cool because I can show you that you don't have to take apart your entire garage and move everything out. I feel like that would make me not want to buy these if I knew that my garage had to be fully empty before I do anything. So we'll kind of show the process, and I'll give you a brief review at the end of just what I think of them, and then maybe that'll encourage you to buy some yourself. These are relatively cheap compared to, let's say, like the Swiss Trax or any of the other brands. There's a lot out there. These really don't break the bank. I think the full garage is gonna cost me just a hair over $1,000. They run huge sales, so I'm gonna leave the link in the description for that if you wanna click on that, and let me know how you like yours, or if you already have them, let me know how you feel about them. Also, get yourself a buddy like Marcus to help you with this. So as you can see, we cleared off the left side. As I said, you don't need to clear it like that much out. We did anyways, but what we did is we moved most of the stuff over to the side and out of the garage. We're gonna work basically one side, then we'll move some things back onto it and finish the other side. That way you're not moving too many things out if you need to leave. If the project takes longer than you thought, you're not going back and forth and wasting a bunch of time, and then you have a bunch of stuff outside of your garage when you're trying to close it and leave somewhere. I went with a black and gray theme. Interlocking Products has a really cool little visualizer on their website where you can kind of lay out your pattern ahead of time. I think you can even do whatever pattern you want, and then it will tell you at the end how many of each you need to purchase, which is really cool. Show you a color comparison here. That was one thing that I didn't see a whole lot of online yet. And I haven't seen a whole lot of videos of the interlocking products, so I figured this might be like a cool little show and tell. I did a gray floor with a black outline. Color comparison. Here's your gray and your black. These are gonna mount in a very similar way to the Swiss Trax. They all interlock. You wanna start at the very front of your garage. That way you have your clean edge where you want it. And then you'll also order some of these bits and pieces right here. Male edges are going to be pretty much flat, right? So they can butt up against like corners and walls. So in the front, what would that be, the left side of the garage? So front left side of the garage, we're gonna place them down like this, shove them into the corner, and then the next piece is gonna go onto that. Each time you do these, you're just gonna overlay it, and you can either mallet them in, rubber mallet them in, or just step on them. So basically, and it's on. And then as you get to the front of the garage door, you're gonna grab your edge pieces. I chose the female ones because that way you don't have the edge sitting on top of it, so that way it can't really pull out because you're gonna have the weight of the tiles on it. And then you're gonna basically, same thing, you're gonna lay the edges down and step on it, and then your ramps, edges, whatever you wanna call them, will be installed. All right, we're gonna lay a couple of these out and then show you how that goes. These are super easy to put together, and if you mess up, let's see, these come apart really easily. You can literally just pull them apart like that. All right, so on my design, I got super lucky because this edge, if you run them all the way across, it's pretty much a perfect fit over here. And you wanna give it just like maybe a ½ inch to, yeah, probably ½ inch is good on each edge, because when the sun hits these, they actually will expand. So if you have it too tight butted up against it and the sun comes in directly through your open garage door, it's gonna start basically curling it up and creating a big bubble. So at the end here, we don't have space for a full tile. So what we did is we marked out 10 inches. That gives you essentially a small gap towards the end of the wall here. because again, you want to leave a little bit of room for expansion under heat. We marked them out, and then once you have one tile that you know fits, you can overlay them to the next tile and mark them. And then you can come over here. So what we've done is we'll just toss that down, and I have, what do you call this? It's a circular saw. So we have a circular saw, and this cuts through it like butter. I'll actually show you a cut over here. You can use just about anything. I think it cuts real easy. And it manages to do a pretty nice and even cut. Go a little slower, you might not end up splitting some of them like this. Make sure you're cutting the right edges too, because if you cut the wrong ones, you don't end up with the correct mating piece. And there's that piece, then we'll run that all the way across. As you can see, we've gotten as close as we can before we have to move all these things. Once I finish this wall up, we're gonna put these cabinets up against this wall anyways. Wanted to show you the finished product and do a quick little walk around. By the way, this is my new to me E46 M3. As you can see, we tossed up the Gorilla racks, and I'm sorry about the lighting, it's a little bit late today, but I have a space for the welders, some extra miscellaneous things. You know, we spaced a couple of things out for some major items we wanted to put there. So up here right now, I just have random things that we're gonna do. I'm gonna address the lighting. I have these Arctica sun rays. They're essentially, they look like skylights, but they go in flush on the ceiling. We got a Dirt King kit here going on the truck at some point. But yeah, there's space on the racks, which is awesome. So I bought 2 racks, which I'll link in the description. They're 2 Gorilla racks, and then we basically just used, you know, we made them 3 wide and put a couple of extra shelves in the center. It's a little hack. I like it because what it does is over here, it just goes over the door to the garage. Here I decided to throw down the 3D printer, which I'm still gonna have to make like a nice wooden base for it, or a wooden shelf that goes in here, because this ends up actually vibrating quite a bit. Yeah, the beauty is there's really a place for everything now. This wall, my plan here is to retire this and to retire the desk and build a nice tool bench here with a nice big, either a butcher block or a stainless steel top or something to make it look nice. We're gonna be painting the walls at some point. That's really important to me. I've got all my wash station stuff over here. That's all gonna end up over here on that wall. And then along this little edge here, I'm gonna do maybe like a wall control, and that'll be all the chemicals. The bike will go on this guy. I've got a like a Pro Flex bike rack that will go probably somewhere right here, and then I can kind of tilt the bike in to save myself some space. Right now I have a ton of space to walk here. That's probably 4 feet, especially when all these things are gone. And then over here I have another probably 3.5, 3.5-ish feet or so. Probably doesn't look that way because it's got the 0.5 lens on right now. But yeah, so I'm happy with this. I think the floor looks incredible. It looks real clean. I will say, when the car's not in here and you're just standing in here, the floor will start kind of messing with your eyes, but it is super cool. I'm very, very happy with it. I would recommend this. Again, the link for the floor will be in the description. Sorry, for the floor tiles will be in the description. Go ahead and jump in there, order yourself some. Use my link. It actually gives me a little bit of a kickback, which would be just incredible. You know, I'm not some huge YouTuber, but I would love to be making a little bit of money back, so that just helps me kind of make some more videos for you guys. Cool. Well, thank you for watching. Thanks for being a part of this. I'm happy I got to do this. It's been a really long time, so been messing around with my setup a little bit, just trying to keep it real simple. I'm just filming with my iPhone and a mic now. Before that, I had a Sony ZV-E10, and I had a setup with mics and all kinds of stuff, and I think this is actually really cool for walking around in the garage and you being able to hear me wherever I'm at in the garage. So happy with it. Hope you are too. If you liked it, like and subscribe. If you don't subscribe. But I mean, leave me a comment, tell me how much you didn't like it. Yeah, happy to do this. Super stoked to be posting another video, and then we'll have more videos on the M3, more videos on maybe the dirt bikes, the truck, and all the extra stuff I'm doing. So, all right, follow along for more. See you next time.